Over the last few shows, we've been dealing with this Microsoft Surface laptop a little bit. Yesterday, we installed drivers using the extracted drivers from the MSI file. And let me get audio check
Hi,
here.
how you doing?
Yep, that works. And I had an echo there. That was a weird echo. Oh, it is from the room. It's because, where is it? Oh, it's on Baby Beast. Baby Beast must have that tab open. Well, okay, let's just mute the speaker on that one. Yeah, okay. So we installed the drivers that had been extracted from the MSI file, and then we restored the image of the freshly installed Windows that didn't have any drivers. And then we actually ran the MSI file to show that procedure. Now I have restored the fresh Windows 11 installation that has no drivers. And now I'm going to let Windows Update take a shot at it from the get-go. And that's going to take a little while for it to run. So let's get started right off with that. And then I have a question that came in on a video comment. Jim says it's going to be a liquid lunch. I think he's expressing annoyance with me still dealing with this Surface laptop. If this winds up being another episode of Surface, I may have to start drinking early. That's Jim again. Whoops, what happened? I thought I pressed the power button. Oh, by the way, I've also come to conclude that I really like this volume button, hold that, and then the power button to get into BIOS. That is so much easier than trying to press the escape key or delete or F12 at the right moment during startup. Now, wait a minute. Here I got an issue. I've had a couple of instances of this where maybe this computer does have a problem. Because remember, we purchased it as a parts-only computer. So now I'm holding down the power button for 10 seconds to be sure it's completely off. Then we'll try turning it on again. Houston, we may have a problem. Oh, there it's coming on. I just was still holding the power button down. That's not a normal way to get out of a stuck computer. Oh, all right. Some chit chat going on. Greg M tells Jim, hey, next up is Yahoo Mail. You don't know how right you are. And Jim says, Greg, why do you hate me? Because that's also not going to be a favorite topic for Jim. Jim, you might as well give up right now. Okay, so here we have, we're powered on. And this is, I don't need the external keyboard because this internal keyboard, famous last word. No, it doesn't work yet. It doesn't work yet because I don't have drivers installed. That's why. So I still have this external keyboard. Even the touchscreen is not working because there's no drivers. All right, so enter the password, super complex password there. And then I'll go show, right click on Windows Device Manager and show that there are a bunch of missing device drivers. And then we'll take the Ethernet cable, plug it in, watch down here at the bottom right corner of the screen where right now I have the wireframe globe.
Please.
Chris Garrett did a read chat, please. How do I know that that's going to be some kind of kid in the back of the room? Okay, so there's the network. I'll go settings, scroll down, Windows Update, and check for updates. And let that run for a little bit. Come over here to chat, catch up, and then I'll go to the video comment, which Greg M has already predicted what that's going to be about. Oops, wait a minute. I got to come back and look at this. Error encountered. We couldn't install updates because there's a problem with the date and time information on your device. Make sure your date and time zones are correct. So I'm going to come down here. It's showing April 15th, 8:37. So that's 15 days off and half an hour off. If I do, let's see, I want to do right click, adjust date and time. Then I'm going to come, it's already says set date and time automatically, but I'm going to come down here to the sync now button to just force it to sync right now. Last successful time synchronization was July 31st, 2015 at 5 p.m. Sync now. And that brought us right up to the current date and time. Then come back to Windows Update. And it is already checking for updates. Hello, Chevy, Martin Hogg, Alice. Alice says amazing video. That's the trailer she's referring to. It's this India girl, Maya Neelakantan. Neelakantan. Playing a pretty amazing performance on the guitar. Rick Lakes, hello, Jeff Raymond, Charlie Purdy, Lawn Dog. A little bit of a weather report there, it looks like. 90 degrees for Lawn Dog. Yeah, we're up about, I think, 88, something like that for today. Phil Stodd, hello. There's Jim. This winds up being another episode of Surface. I may have to start drinking early. Ran Israel, hello. Brian Lightfoot, relax. Today we'll talk about email clients, such as, what's it going to be? Liquid lunch. Charlie Purdy says, I hope so. Hope so what? That it's going to be the Surface or email clients? Show you a quick peek over here, checking for updates. Selden Ball, John Williams, Greg M. Next up, Yahoo Mail. Tim to Greg, why do you hate me? Steve Dodd, hello. Microsoft product, what do you expect? Yeah, so that's the thing. Microsoft Computer, Microsoft Windows, Microsoft controls the Windows Update. Will Windows Update give us all of the drivers? 1 in chat if you think it will, 0 in chat if you think it will not. Will Microsoft Windows Update get us all the drivers? 1 if you think it will, 0 if you think it won't. Generally 1 is the yes, affirmative answer, 0 is the no. I'm going to do a control C here so I can get back to that easily and go see what y'all are putting in. No, no, yes, no, no, yes, yes, no. Okay, continuing. Martin Hogg, next is Google Photos. That's another one. No, don't have Google Photos on tap for today. What's next? Amphetamines and glue. Actually, glue, you're on to another one. There is going to be an upcoming episode with this Gorilla Epoxy. Some of you remember what that's for. If you remember what that's for, tell us in chat. What am I going to use the epoxy for? I showed this computer to my daughter yesterday. She's excited about getting it. I told her I'm not quite ready to give it to her yet because I got more things I want to do on the show with it. Much to Jim's chagrin. John Williams, Selden Ball. Chris Garrett. Oh, he did the read chat. So, did he have something else? What was he saying? This is today's Wednesday. What was he doing a read chat for? I guess maybe just his laugh. My message did not show up. Maybe he had a message before the show start. I'm looking over in OBS to see if that's true. No, I don't see any messages from him before the show time, unless he did something last night. That would have been forgotten by now. let's see, what's that? A small part you want to work on, you might want to wear some rubber gloves. The little steel springy thing. Yeah. I'll show that in a moment, but I want to point out here, complete updates to maintain security. Here it's doing all these installs. I kind of would like to hold off on the cumulative update.
Read chat, please.
Because how long that sometimes takes. So that, see if we can get the others. Look at all of that stuff. That looks like lots and lots of device drivers. Now we got a bunch of install buttons. Oh, good. And because of that, will it let me skip the cumulative? It's downloading the cumulative. I'd like to get it to just install all the other drivers, not the cumulative yet. I'm kind of wondering if I pause updates. But no, if I pause updates, I already know that it'll take all of those off of that list. Jim says 908. I'm going to assume that comment from Jim at 908. I'll touch a MacBook before I'll touch a Surface. Everyone knows my opinion of MacBooks. I don't know why you're so dogging on Surface. This one showed to be very easy to work on. As a matter of fact, watch this. Let's see how bold Doug can get with this. Wait, is he going to actually remove the keyboard while the computer is installing updates? Because actually, if you had the entire C panel, it's super easy to replace. I got to get a good way to grip this without touching any keys. This is held on magnetically. There we go. There you go. Computer, while it's running, there's a 256 gigabyte M.2. No, that's not. That's one. No, that's one of those proprietary interface. I don't think that's a regular M.2. And then there's the ribbon cable. And that clip that I need to glue on goes underneath here. There, you heard it just snap in place. Here's the clip. And that's gonna, this is a little bit springy back here. This clip is just gonna hold that in place. I'll be using that Gorilla Glue to secure that in place. Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing, Chris, your message was from last night, maybe? Is that right? I have not finished. I started watching the show live yesterday, and I had to turn my attention to work. And I continued listening later in the day, but I haven't got through all of it yet. Looking forward to the rest of that. Let's see what let's get on to the comment. Because this is a question. From, whoops, let's get timestamp in here. No, that's not the right one. That's why that didn't look right. There, 907. And we have a question from Gregory Koppel. Finally, it works. Thanks. Now help with the iPhone Yahoo email. This was a comment on the Yahoo web mail interface. So he was happy for that. Now he wants help with the iPhone Yahoo email. So Greg, yes, I can demonstrate that, but I don't know where you're having trouble. So it'd be very helpful if you give me an idea where you're having trouble. I can bring up my iPhone on screen and show configuring Yahoo Mail account with the iPhone native mail app, or connecting a Yahoo Mail to the Gmail app on the iPhone, or the Outlook app on the iPhone. Maybe your issue is with the layout. Of course, the Yahoo webmail, you're probably not using that on the iPhone unless you're going to a web browser on the iPhone. Is it a problem with configuring it to receive the emails? Where are you running into trouble so that I know what to focus on? If you'll give me that, I would be happy to try to demonstrate it. I say try like that because I haven't actually configured Yahoo to the native mail app on the iPhone. Or is it maybe the Yahoo app for the iPhone that you're having trouble with? So give me some input there, what it is that you'd like to see demonstrated or where you need help with that. Be happy to try to help with that. Finish out that reply. Okay, now let's see where we're at on this computer. Security intelligence completed. Have install options for all of these items. Scroll up to the top. There's install all. I don't want to install all. I want to avoid the cumulative update, just because they can take a long time. I don't see an easy way to prevent that one. I could click through all these others and individually install them. Many of these are probably going to be very quick. Now, I don't care about security. Okay, so let's pick and choose. Cumulative update, Windows malicious software. No, this one, net, Surface firmware, Intel system, Surface firmware, system, Intel corporate display, extension, update Windows 11, Bluetooth firmware, system, monitor firmware. See, there's just a lot of these miscellaneous drivers. If I click on just one, how long does it take to respawn? Because this is not a normal thing. Oh, all right, installing, and all the others now say pending install. I don't feel very good about this because it's still oh, there it is, complete. Stuck on 0 for a long time. I'll skip the firmware for now. System. No, I'm not liking this. If it was instantaneous, there's an install error. No, I'm just going to go ahead and click install all. And it's going to be whatever it is. Maybe it'll be done before show time is over, maybe not. And the thing we're interested in is, does this eliminate all of the device driver issues? Now I can bring up Device Manager so that we can see things happen. Oh, it's already open. Okay, there we go. And as we saw yesterday, some one or more of these updates, when it installs that, it's actually going to find more devices that don't have drivers installed. Coming back to chat, amphetamines and glue. I think that's where I remember being at. Scanning for comments between Alex, Ghetto, and Doug's service. The liquor cabinet is going to need resupply by the end of the week. I'm going to say that was a valid chuckle. So I'm going to give Jim points. Let's see, copy that. Paste. Yeah, I did that wrong. Smashed the wrong key. So I got to come here, do that. And I think the chuckle was
Read chat,
200.
please.
Let's go here. I will control C that. Now, the surface adjusts. The screen resolution just went way down, and we saw that yesterday when it installed one of the driver updates. It goes to a lower resolution where everything looks big, and then it will find another one. Now, this last read chat message. This is information only. Zorin operating system 17.3 is now using Brave as the default browser for privacy reasons rather than Firefox, who has recently taken some privacy decisions that cause concern. So how long is it going to be before Brave makes some decisions that people are upset about? Because they're both privacy-oriented browsers, but I don't know, somehow my impression is Brave is even more so than Firefox. I don't know if that's true or not. Of course, Jim's not going to like that comment. I hear the Surface fan has ramped up. And there it is working on that stupid cumulative update that takes so long. And now here's a display driver updating again and again. And now we're back to, looks like a higher resolution. See what it says about resolution here. Right click on the desktop, display settings, and 2256 by 1504. That's an oddball number. That's not 4K. 1920 by 1080 is normal. Is anything normal around here? Let's get back to Windows Update. Sign in to use widgets. No, I don't want no stinking widgets. This is taking a while to get back to the update screen because the computer's really, really busy right now. I can hear these fans running. Super busy. Leave me alone. I'm working here. Get rid of widgets. Okay, let's right click down here on the, oh, there it goes. And then the updates, I want on the right side of the screen. I'm going to try Windows key right arrow. See if that's functional yet. No. How about on the USB keyboard? Windows right arrow. Yes. And device manager on the left side, and then put my mouse right on the border, grab this handle and drag it that way. And that made, you can see this one getting smaller. When I let go of the mouse button, this one automatically popped to fill up the rest of the space. Chris Garrett says, another reason I do not like them too slow, this cumulative update takes a long time for any computer. It's not, I don't think you can really blame that on the Surface. If that's what you were referring to at that point in time. Let that run for a little bit, come back tomorrow. Yeah, I generally don't wait around for those cumulative updates. This will be a good test to see how well Microsoft supplies drivers for its own products. Care to guess if they get them all? Yeah, it's commonly accepted, and I haven't seen any documentation of it, but I think it's highly likely. Vendors have to pay Microsoft to put their drivers into Windows Update. Now, this computer's a few years old, in the beginning, the early days of any particular model of computer, they might not have a lot of their drivers in Windows Update if they're having to pay individually for each of those drivers. I don't know how the pay structure works for that. But once a computer is pretty mature, then a manufacturer might be inclined to pay to put more of their drivers up. The division of Microsoft that makes these laptops, are they willing to pay another division of Microsoft that manages the updates to host all of their device drivers? My impression is there's a lot of silos in Microsoft. A lot of times the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and they don't cooperate very well with each other, is my impression. And yes, I can ding Microsoft. There's a lot of what Microsoft does that I like, and I use more of Microsoft's tools, features than what a lot of you around here do. You may be able to get a quantity discount if maybe that's if you're Microsoft. I'm not quite sure what the prior conversations were there. Tomorrow there will be a last installment of the Surface Saga. Yeah, I don't know if that'll be the last. Oh, did he mention on the podcast yesterday about drivers? Oh, yes, I did remember. Yeah, because Scott was talking about a driver utility that apparently he still uses, at least sometimes. Here we go. We're making some progress here. 4 unknown drivers, 34% on that cumulative update. If it cleans up all of those unknown devices before it even finishes, then that'll give us the answer as far as whether all the drivers will be there now or not. He brought up how we used to do it with driver packs. I still have my early Windows 7 machines. I believe some XP stuff. Yeah, I used to keep drivers on some form of alternate media. I can't remember how many laptops said the trackpad did not work after installation. Now, actually, the trackpad and the keyboard, they do work going into BIOS if you go into BIOS by holding down the volume up button and press the power button. The mouse, the built-in mouse and keyboard are fully functional in BIOS under that circumstance. And like I mentioned, I really like this F4 power on because there is no occasion where you're going to say, oh, I missed it. You know, all the other computers, you press the power button and then you got to hit a particular key at a particular moment during the cold boot process to get into it. And if the BIOS has been set to make that time really short, because some BIOSes allow you to change the amount of time where that key press can be done. If it's a short amount of time, it's really hard to do it. All right, we got some more stuff going on here with device drivers. We're down to 3 unknown devices. And 35%. Yeah, that does not bode well for the next 1 minute of showtime. The top desk of the laptop, keyboard clip, the top desk of the laptop. I'm not sure what that one was referring to, the loose latch. Oh yeah, I think is referring to that, what the epoxy was for. Right. Yeah, rubber gloves I find I'm not going to be using rubber gloves. You'll see my technique. I have a technique for working with epoxies that I like. It does not involve gloves. I made a joke about the Surface, kind of like the time I used Sledgehammer. Well, Chris, you could have just given us the joke instead of telling us you made a joke. I already got that. See, I see a bunch of things flickering over here. So now it's gone back up to 5 unknown devices. This is where the comment was that
Read
as it
chat,
installs
please.
some of the drivers, it actually finds more unknown devices. I'll go check on this new read chat please message. There's no reason other than bad design for there to be some obscure key combo to get the keyboard to work in BIOS. I'll bet you if you really knew the engineering decisions behind how they came to that, there might be a reason. You're not in the know of how they developed that. Now, it seems to me, Jim, it seems to me you were the one that introduced and taught me the acronym RTFM. Okay? It's a simple Google search. Keystroke for entering BIOS Microsoft Surface.
Read
Very
chat,
simple,
please.
very easy to find. There's no other reason than failure to RTFM to easily find out how to get into BIOS. Chris said I would use it as target practice. That was the joke. I gave you the joke. YouTube removed it. So now Chris, I think, has given us 4 chat messages about the chat message that was never there, yet he still hasn't even reproduced that chat message. Just telling us about it. All right, Chris. Such a Chris. Yeah, if you just simply don't like them, that's just prejudice. You're prejudging them. And one of the things that I've heard said about they're so hard to work on. This is not hard to work on, except if you're trying to replace that actual piece there. For some number of years, Microsoft did sell the whole C panel for a very affordable price. But now this one's too old for that. They no longer sell
Read
it.
chat,
Although
please.
it was still available in the metal form rather than the Alcantara, which is this fabric. Chris Garrett, read the fantastic manual. That's what RTFM stands for. Sometimes referred to as read the friendly manual. He got power. I said I would use it as target practice. He got power. He got power. Anyone? Any of you know what that one meant? Yeah. Let's see what's going on now. There's 3 unknown devices and it's still refreshing. 69% on the cumulative update. Hey, that's not so bad. We might hang on this for a while.
Read chat, please.
Keeps redrawing.
Read
Now
chat,
4.
please.
Now it's up to 4. Chris Garrett again. John Williams. Jenny knows. You are missing my message. All right. So there's something that I've missed. Let's go over here to see all of his messages. Because that's really going to be really satisfying, right? When I find out what it is. I mentioned shotgun. SHOTGUN. All right, you know how to spell it. You got power, use a target practice, gave you a joke, YouTube removed it. It probably was just a matter of time. You still haven't told me that you did it last night or not. Ghetto still has no power. I know he's having some power troubles. Does Microsoft build these or are they made by a third party?
Read chat, please.
It's probably a combination. Much of the sub components are probably, I don't know, China or something. Oh, look at this. Now it goes up to about 7 or 8. Yeah, that's 8 other devices. Too slow. Simply do not like them. Message that you're missing my message. I don't know which one you think I'm missing. None of these actually stood out. Or do you mean I'm missing it like I'm lonely for it? heartsick for it, and I'm missing it because you just aren't giving it to me. The actual full joke. I think Doug has lost power upstairs. Now he's making jokes about my brain. Chris, I'm going to stop reading your messages because you're just not giving me anything that I care to look at. Oh, Windows F doesn't do it. Get back to where I was. Oh, this looks like even more now. Yeah, I just brought another one in and then took it away.
Read chat, please.
Let's see. All right, that's Ran Israel. I was looking on OBS. If that was Chris, I wasn't even going to look at it. Answer after big orange banners, 6 comments above. There's the orange banner. The answer at, oh, maybe out here. They are talking about ghetto. And the power comments, he got power, that ghetto has power. All right, thanks for telling me that. Whoops. They are talking about ghetto. Target practice, that was ghetto. Gave you the joke, that was ghetto. Every one of Chris's comment was about ghetto. All right, see here you addressed it to Ken Stout. When you don't address who your comment is to, I think it's to me.
Read chat, please.
Really nice, really helpful when you address who you're talking to. It probably will update drivers after you restart the Surface laptop. Well, it might finish installing. Some drivers will install without a need to restart. Some drivers need a restart. But it is actually installing. Some drivers now, the number of things showing up here in other devices keeps changing. So it appears that it's detecting and installing and detecting again. I don't know if it's the same devices that are appearing again
chat,
in other devices and going away again. You have to actually take an inventory on each one of those blurbs. Yeah, I'm not even going to show that one from Chris Garrett. Jim, in response to Brave versus Firefox, I use Brave on iOS because it's the see, he's also not a big fan of Apple, right? So he says iOS. Is this a secret way of admitting that he actually does have an iMac computer? Or is he referring to his iPhone? Usually iOS is when somebody's talking about an iPhone, but iOS is also, isn't that also the name of their operating system for their computers? Because it's the only browser I can find that blocks ads when I'm on my iPhone and iPad. Okay, so there's the iPhone and iPad. I knew he didn't have an Apple computer. Oh, this has been completely dark for several seconds now. Now see here, Chris is mixing it up. He's not talking about ghetto here because he uses the word Doug. The word Doug does not refer to ghetto. Why did I acknowledge that comment? So it's dark. Right arrow key. Oh, it just went to sleep. Oh, that's all it was. Went to sleep. I should turn off the power savings. Here's other devices. We're down to 2. Got only 2. Surface battery, only 1. Will it get that 1 without having to restart? All of this stuff here is still expanded, but there's no exclamation marks or what's the Southern term for the exclamation marks? It's not, what is it? Splat. Yeah, I learned that. I was watching Carrie's show yesterday long enough to learn the term splat. I kind of like that term. And then this section is expanded because it's recently had drivers added to it, so I can collapse that. Ambient light sensor is the only one on the list right now. Is that going to be the last one, or will it detect something else? Still showing 69% on that cumulative update. This cumulative update is probably taking longer because of the drivers that are actively installing right now. Oops, it just chimed at me. Why did it chime? Restart required. PC needs to be restarted to install drivers. Now, the 69%, I have restarted a computer before it actually prompts for it, and it will still continue installing that cumulative update during the restart. You don't have to wait for that to be finished. So I'm inclined to go ahead and do that. All these are pending installs. So all of those means it needs the restart to complete those installs. This installing 69% is the only one left. I'm going to go ahead and do a restart now before I have a prompt up here. And I'll let you watch what happens under that scenario. Power restart. You see me use that orange dot to show where I'm pointing at with my mouse, but I have this new one. It looks like my finger, looks like a hand, and I can move that around with my mouse so that you can follow what I'm pointing at. Updates are underway. Please keep your computer on. Chris says, okay, then don't read it. See if I care. Hello, Parker Morse. Wintermute was a no on, I think that was the Brave versus Firefox question. The laptop is Mac OS. All right, iOS is iPhone, Mac OS is iMac. Okay, I stand corrected. Updates are underway. Jesse Kirk, hello. Fax and Jim, KJ3 and Fax, LOL. That's why I use Firefox on my MacBook and Brave on my Android phone. Ah, interesting. Ran Israel, MS Product Manager, admitted he went from Windows 11 back to a MacBook. Are you talking about Dave? I think Dave has some Macs. Dave's not home. I can't do that, Dave. Dave has left the building. Dave, the guy that was an early Microsoft employee, I'm not thinking of his last name right now. Prefer to wait. Nice example of Peter Principle, Tehran, Israel. Peter Principle is promoting someone to their level of incompetence, right? Isn't that the Peter Principle? Interrupting an update can be problematic. Well, I didn't interrupt it. I didn't interrupt it. I just did the restart prior to the prompt for restarting. I've done that many times, and it seems it's my impression is that it gets finished faster. This is updates are underway, but that cumulative update is a very long update. I may have missed a whole section of chats or not. I'm curious about with Chris Garrett. Remember when I blocked Chris Garrett tongue in cheek back a while back? I am wondering if that removed a lot of his history, and I can't go look at his history on this window after the show is over with. Now it's trying to bring in more, I'm pointing again. It's trying to bring in more of the old chat I want to see how far back it'll show me his chat messages. Just had a reminder going off on my phone since I'm in overtime now. I have alarms that ring after the show is over. Gary Weisenberger says splat is the asterisk key, bang
Recheck.
is the exclamation mark. Oh, it goes back to the 1950s. Interesting. I'm going to leave this one open. I think I can come back to here. I think I can restore this chat. No, I can't. I lost the popped out chat. So I'll duplicate this panel. I'll come back here to Chris and get it back to bringing in his stuff, and then come over here to be able to catch the more recent chats. I'm going to Control-C that. And there was a rechat Gary for that comment. So I'm going to see if I can get Copilot to give me some more background information on that. There we go. And I'm just pasting that directly. Press Enter. I've got the screen just went dark over here. Maybe that is, yeah, that was just timeout. You're absolutely right. The term splat for asterisk and bang for the exclamation mark have fascinating origins. These nicknames were popularized in the mid-20th century, particularly in the printing and typesetting industries, where shorthand terms were essential for efficiency. Later, they were adopted by early computer programmers and hackers who appreciated their brevity and distinctiveness. The exclamation mark, bang, was often used in comics to emphasize loud sounds like gunshots or crashes, which might have influenced its nickname. Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Exclamation mark in comics used to indicate a gunshot, which was bang. Meanwhile, the splat for asterisk likely came from its visual resemblance to a splattered mark. Okay, splatter a liquid against the wall, maybe, and it's going to kind of drip down and narrow down as it drips down. So looks like an exclamation mark. It's amazing how these quirky terms have endured over time. Do you have a favorite nickname for any other punctuation marks? What other nicknames for punctuation marks are there? Would have been faster if I would have voice dictated that. Oh, interrobang, octothorpe, pilcrow, asterism, snark mark. Oh, snark mark. Oh, that's got to become a thing around here. Snark mark, right? Have a nice day, everyone. Need to leave for an appointment. See you later, John. Thanks for hanging out. None of us are from the 50s. Right. Like, that's not true. Oh, updates are underway. I'm going to kick myself for doing this. I guess I am still, well, I'm on screen because I can see myself in the reflection, but you can't. I'd have to do that for you to be able to look up my nose. No, thank you. That just bugs the heck out of me if somebody's on a Zoom call and they got their cell phone pointing up their nose. Don't do that, people. Don't be that person. Good grief. Don't wear your pants hanging down around your ankles when you're out walking on the street. And don't have your camera pointed up your nose when you're on a Zoom call. Yikes. Linux has the updates. They are faster and see detailed progress. Yeah, I would like to have that. Updates are not the first thing that I do when I'm setting a computer up, unless I'm okay with walking away from the computer, go do something else. I will sometimes spend some time with the setup before I launch updates, depending upon the circumstances. All right, Jim, you got another chuckle from me. Up your nose with a rubber hose. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. I've got my button created to do that automatically, but I've got to get a stationary location where the chat field is. And then I can just triple click on the name, hit the button, and it does all the rest of this for me. Don't pull your pants up under your armpits. Yeah, Grandpa. That wants people to get off his lawn. Buy a different kind of pants, don't you? Don't do this, don't do that. I want to leave the house at all. Microsoft launched an update this past week as preview update. I never install the preview updates. I have no reason to need those. I don't know. What's the point? Did I show, whoops, wrong, I meant to press this button. What button did I do? Probably Baby Beast. I don't remember if before doing this, did I look at what the state of the device manager was? Does it matter? It doesn't matter. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I will take a photo of it. Hopefully as soon as it finishes. I'll keep a camera recording on it. I'll keep a camera pointed at it so I can document when it finishes. So tomorrow I can decide whether I made the right choice to end the show before it's done. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bounce because I don't know how long that's going to be.
Read chat, please.
Martin Hogg asks, what are preview updates? Preview updates is the update that is likely to be next month's cumulative update or the next cumulative update. So we're not quite into May yet. Anytime before the second Tuesday of May, you could install the preview update, which is going to install the update that is in line for being May's update. You can get that update before it's actually publicly available. Now, downside of it is if there's any problems in it that Microsoft is going to fix before the final published update, then you've got whatever problems. You're essentially a beta tester by taking the preview updates. Okay, out of here. Last look, it's dark again because of, I'm going to have to keep this thing alive. All right. Goodbye. Get out of here. Just hit the button, Doug. Go. Have a good day. Goodbye.